about 4 or 5 years ago, I went to visit some friends in the wheat belt in Australia. They're farmers, and they started to talk about demons and curses and deliverance and different things like that. And I was kind of intrigued, but also a little freaked out, because you think of things that you see in the movies, and I was like, not sure about all of that. So I listened, and then they gave me some books to read, and I did some reading about things. And at the time, and for a long time before, I had serious arachnophobia, to the point where I'd be paralyzed with fear. If a tiny little spider was in the bathroom, I wouldn't be able to leave if I didn't see it on my way in. And if I walked through or touched a spider web, I would be shaking and crying and just terrified, just so bound up with fear. And it was completely irrational and not very handy when you live in Australia, because there's spiders everywhere. So my husband knew as well. He would see, if I walked through a spider web, he would know to just come straight over to me and reassure me that there was nothing on me, and, just really try and calm me down, because I'd have a panic attack. And out in the wheat belt, there are lots of spiders. And I remember my friend saying, well, let's break that off you. And I thought, what are you talking about, breaking something off me? There's nothing on me. And she said, no, well, that's fear, and that doesn't belong on you. So let's pray, and we'll just get rid of it. And then you won't have this irrational fear of spiders anymore. So I thought, okay, anything to get rid of this. So we were praying in our living room one day, and I closed my eyes, and oh my goodness, I saw this huge tarantula behind me, just in my imagination, and I screamed. I was so scared, but in my imagination, I saw this big sword in front of me, and I grabbed it, and I turned around, and I started hacking at this spider, and it must have looked like I was completely insane, but by the time I'd finished, I put it down and we prayed again, and I felt normal. I felt fine. That evening, we were all sitting down watching TV, and there was a big huntsman spider. And in Australia, these spiders that are called huntsman are huge, and you can get them as big as side plates. This big huntsman spider came running and stood right in front of the TV, which was low down to the ground. And I was right in front of it, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, there's a big spider there. And usually I would be on top of the couch, hanging onto the ceiling fan or something, screaming. And everyone looked at me, and then my husband hopped up to grab a glass and something to catch the spider, and he did. And it started kind of dancing around inside the glass, and that would be enough to give me a heart attack. But I looked at it and I was like, oh, look, poor thing, it's really scared. Let's go put it outside. And so he just went and threw it outside, and he threw it on top of a drain that went straight into the bathroom, and he didn't realize. So late at night, when I went to the bathroom, I turned on the light, went and did my business, and then I looked across, and there's this huge thing coming up out of the drain with half its abdomen coming up. And in the past, I would just be like non-responsive. I wouldn't be able to move. I would stay there for hours. And I just thought, oh, there's that spider. And I just kind of walked out and turned the light off, and I went to bed, and I said, hey, that spider got in. It's in the bathroom. and I went to sleep. And then the next day, I actually found, it's probably not the same one, but I found another one in my luggage that we had, that we'd brought. And it was just crazy that this episode that I had with prayer could actually take away that fear to that extent, and then to be tested and tested and tested, and to found like it's all good and completely gone really changed my thinking about what is possible with God.